Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody joining us today. My name is Rebecca Johnson. I am the brand marketing specialist here at VoIP Supply. Today, we have a very exciting webinar for you with our partners at Snom. We have Corey Cather and Elizabeth Casal. Casale? Thank you. We are going to go over some of the advanced features and functions of the Snom D865 and the Snom D862 router phones. Right now, they are available as a limited release, a limited 3CX release through VoIP Supply. So what we're going to do today is basically make sure that you guys understand how these devices really can help you in your 3CX platform as well. So we've got Corey here who's going to go over the phones and some other products that are available. And we've got Elizabeth who is going to run through the 3CX 3CX certified phones and how we can provision those. So without saying any more, I will pass this on over to Corey. If anybody has any questions, feel free to throw that in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll make sure you get a copy of this recording as well.
Thank you, Rebecca, and appreciate your time. And we will go over this real briefly, but today we wanted to share kind of our offerings and what phones we have and how they work with 3CX, but also primarily we wanted to introduce you to the phones in their limited US release here for 3CX that VoIP Supply has an exclusive for. We'll also touch on some other models that are coming soon, but again, it'll be brief, so we'll get you through it quickly here. Just to touch on a few of the things, obviously, Snom is owned by VTech. One of the unique things about our phones is they all carry a 3-year warranty. And that includes decked phones. So any of the decked devices, as long as you're not tossing them against the wall, the manufacturer defect is a 3-year replacement warranty. So that includes conference phones, decked phones, desk phones, a true 3-year warranty on those items. But Snom is unique in the way we work with our manufacturing. We design, we engineer, and we actually make products. It's all in-house. We have a warehouse in San Antonio that we distribute from. And again, one of the other unique items we have here is we have a North American-based team. So we have engineering here, we have research and development here, we have product teams and sales and marketing teams here, as well as tech support in North America. So you have access to all of that here in North America at Snom. Our desk phones, what we're going to start with is the new model. So the new models, what we've got they're new to us, let's put it this way. The 862 and 865 have been released in Europe, and they have been certified on 3CX. So they are new to the US market, and we have a very limited release. So VoIP Supply has been able to get the exclusive release for these models. There will be some other models coming in the near future, which we'll touch on as well. But these two models, again, are on the 3CX provisioning server, and Liz will go into a little more detail on that as well. But they are not only certified, but they are, Snom is is one of the preferred phones for 3CX. The 862 is the more basic model, if you will, where it still has a 5-inch screen, but you have 8 programmable keys, and they all have HD audio. We've also added where they have antibacterial plastics on the 800 series. This includes the 86 series and the 81 series. These models also have tilt screens, so you'll be able to, the screen itself will actually adjust, and that should be able to tilt as well. On the 865, you go to a couple extra keys on the side. It has again, it has the 3-year warranty, but it actually has a built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capability to it. So this model does have both of them built in, as well as 2 USB ports. And just to back up, the 862 does also have a USB port. So it does not have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth built in, but it has a USB port for the ability to add a dongle as needed. And just as a side-by-side comparison, you can see again some of the notes that we've caught out there, the 8 versus 10 keys and the Wi-Fi built in as well. So on that note, I will introduce, and anything that I missed as well, Liz, I'll let you cover the configuration of the 862 and 865.
Perfect. Thank you, Corey. So the most important thing to know when we talk about 3CX was with their V20 release, which they're now moving V20, it'll be update 5 by the end of January. We're looking at requiring a session border controller when you're connecting phones to the 3CX platform. So one of the nice things about these phones, the 862 and 865, is that they are considered router phones. So you will actually be able to use them as a router phone or an SBC when you have a small environment. Now, obviously, when you're looking at a large enterprise environment, people are going to probably lean more toward having a full-on session border controller, because with the D862 or D865 router phone, like any of the other router phones that are available through 3CX with our other competitors, you do have a limitation with the number of phones that you can then connect to that router phone. So for small solutions, when you're going out into businesses, we can do 10 phones per D862 or D865 router phone, 10 devices. So, it's great for those environments where they don't want to buy a large session border controller because they don't really need it. It is the way to move forward in that environment. Corey, did you want to say something?
No, sorry.
All right. That's all right. So at the top of this is the link to actually follow the setup guide for the configuration of the D8 6X on the 3X or 3CX platform. So basically the most important things you're going to need to remember, obviously, if the phone isn't new and it's been connected to another PBX system, you're going to have to reset it before you actually do the steps that are there. In addition, you might have to upgrade the firmware if it's on an older version. But if you're installing a new phone, these are very simple steps to follow. You're going to select a user that you have already created, or create a user and then select that user. You're going to then add the IP phone for that user and then configure the phone. These steps will be the same regardless of whether you're doing a router phone or a phone that is connected to a router phone. Corey, can you move forward a slide? So once you've done that configuration of the phone, then you're going to choose the actual phone. And it's very important that you identify the exact model of the phone that you're using. You want to make sure that if it's an 862, that you're selecting 862 versus 865. They do have a little bit of uniqueness, as Corey mentioned. As an example, one visual one is the keys on the front. So you want to make sure you're getting the right phone and you choose the right phone. And then you also want to add the MAC address to that configuration information. Once you've done that, then it's the more important part, which is choosing the phone type. Now, you can choose, obviously, an existing SBC phone if you're going to connect to an existing router phone in your network. You can connect directly where you're creating the router phone, or you can choose an existing SBC that's in the market in the network by using an IP address. So it's very important to know exactly how you're going to be connecting when you get to this point, because that information is what then provides the provisioning from 3CX. In addition, you're going to want to know whether you're choosing the connection is like a cloud or an on-premise or a self-hosted environment. That's going to also be required for the configuration when you're provisioning, to tell you how you're interfacing that phone to the network. Once that information is put into the configuration, the 3CX system actually then creates the provisioning information for the phone. And for the router phone, it also then creates that group of settings for the 3CX tunnel so that that tunnel can be created on the phone. Once you've got that situation completed, then the next step is really about the phone itself. So there's a couple different ways that you can actually have the phone provision. Obviously, you can do what we call plug and play, where you're going to plug the phone in and then assign it to an existing user. So once the phone's plugged in, it'll get the information provisioned down, and then you can just assign it to the user using the administrative portal on 3CX. Or you can do what's called redirect and provisioning service, or RPS, where we would have, as an example, you could use SRAPs, which is our redirection server, and the phone would immediately go to SRAPs, see that it's being redirected to the FreeCX provisioning site, and then it would then download its information from there. So there's a couple of different ways that the phone can get its configured information so that it can be provisioned. And then, once it's provisioned, you'll be able to go into the phone manager itself, and this is actually the phone manager, the web UI of the D862, and you'll be able to see the information of the phone as well as the provisioning that was assigned by the 3CX platform. So when you do additional phones within your network, again, you can have 10 devices per router phone for the 862 or 865. As you create those new phones and you add those new phones to the 3CX platform, you're going to be connecting basically to that first phone you created, which is our D862 in this example. So you'll actually, instead of connecting directly when you configure that phone, it's going to be connected via that SBC router phone. And you'll be doing that for your phones as you move forward for each phone, up until 10 per phone. And I'm going to
Thank you,
hand it back
Liz.
to you.
Yeah. Great. So it's so I guess the main thing is we also wanted to introduce you to some of the phones that are coming. So the 862 and the 865, to kind of wrap those up, is they do have nice 5-inch screens. They're a nice high quality screen, and they do have tilt screens to them. They are router phones, and they are all preferred certified 3CX phones on their platform. So right now, those are the two options you can buy today that are certified as router phones. In the realm of coming soon, the 815 and the 812 are currently available from Snom, but they are not currently certified on the 3CX platform. And then the 810 is one that we expect by next quarter, we'll say. And the 812.
Corey,
go ahead.
Corey, just as an update, I did get an update this morning on 3CX. Both the 812 and the 815 are to be included in update 5, which will be coming out hopefully by the end of this month. And so both 12 and 812 and 815 will be SBC capable, hopefully by the end of January.
Excellent. Okay, and so that'll give you some more options here too. On the 812 and the 815 and the 810, the intention is they're a little more cost effective as well. So the screens don't swivel, so they are fixed, but it will be a little more competitive price as well. The main features here is in the 815, you're going to get 2 USB ports, and you have Wi-Fi built in. There will be some variations coming on some of these models as well that we have not updated these slides from. But the D815 is actually the D815W because it has Wi-Fi built in. The main thing is just, again, the number of keys. So you've got 10 programmable keys, but you've got 4 pages of them. And it's totals 36 because you do have to go use one of them as your kind of next page tab. But you've got 36 total programmable keys. There will be, and again, this is information will be in the next 3 to 6 months, but we will have a Bluetooth version of this as well that will be available next quarter. The 812 is, again, has a single USB port, has headset jack, and it will give you 8 keys, 28 total keys. And then the 810 will just be a smaller footprint. It'll be a smaller footprint, but also a smaller screen. This one will also have some options on it, so it will have not only kind of the standard with the USB port, but it will also have a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth option down the road as well. And all of these versions at some point also are on the list to be certified with 3CX. The 10 obviously will be a little bit longer because it's not released from us. Correct, Liz?
Correct. You're correct.
Okay. And then we've got an expansion module. So the expansion module is actually available today, and that one will go with either the 862, 865, or the 810, 812. So it'll go with any of the 800 series phones. The D700 series, again, is also listed. These are not SBC or router phones. They have been certified with 3CX though for years, and all of these are available today and are available to use on the 3CX platform, as well as the D100 series. So the D120, again, is a model that's been out for quite a while. The D140 and the 150 are newer models, but they are also certified preferred phones on the 3CX platform. Simple monochrome phones, obviously the 120 is a smaller screen, you only have 2 buttons. The 140 and 150 have increased grayscale, better resolution. The 150 has GigE and also just gives you a little bit, little difference as far as number of the sensor that both the 140 and the 150 have. Sorry, I apologize. Instead of the mechanical hook switch that the 120 has, they have the hook switch sensor on them. So less moving parts is where I'm trying to go with that. The M500, and actually, Liz, do you? I know we've talked about the M500 with VoIP Flying, a lot of our folks out here too, and it's a pretty exciting product and a decked product that's also somewhat scalable. That you can have 2 bases together. It's a key line or a key system functionality. So it's one we've been excited to get set up on 3CX and certified on 3CX. And Liz, do you want to give an update on 3CX certification on this one as well?
Absolutely. So that's another one that the M500 solution will be 3CX certified with SBC functionality in this update 5 that should come out at the end of January. And the benefit of the M500 that you're going to not find anywhere else, we actually have the patent solution that Corey's talking about, which is that keyline emulation. And if anybody's ever used an old-fashioned key system where you just push a button and page someone and tell them to pick up a line, that's basically what the M500 provides, is that keyline emulation, that busy line functionality, so you can see if someone's on a phone, you can talk to them through intercom, you can page through them, which is unique in the marketplace, specifically over decked, because now we're talking about cordless handsets and desk sets, because the Ethernet connection is only to the M500. So that'll be SBC capable, certified at the end of January.
That would be great. And where this is, it's unique in any small to medium business, but where it really has a big play is in retail, restaurant, small business, where you have people that are mobile, you have people that, there might be turnover, you have basically easier access where you truly put somebody on hold and pick it up on another phone. It's not park retrieve. It is truly hold, hit the line, access the call. So it is pretty unique in that aspect. And again, there's some neat things about these products. Obviously, we have a ruggedized version now as well. That's the M56. Mm-hmm. But the handsets and the desk set are all Bluetooth. So even the handsets, you can stick it on your hip and put a Bluetooth earpiece in and be pretty hands-free, even with a decked handset there. So the ruggedized version does have its IP67. It actually has a light built into it. It's, of course, antibacterial, as all of these are. So it just gives you a lot of flexibility there. And then on top of that, you've got a true decked desk phone. So that desk phone is decked. It just needs to be plugged in for power. But it does not need a wire drop. It's decked, and it has that same key functionality. And then on top of the base. Yeah, go ahead.
I have clients that are using these, that have deployed these already in dentist's office, multiple medical offices, as well as auto shop kind of things because of the ruggedized handset. So it's very easy to deploy. It's very easy to have it connected, running, and provide that functionality that, especially when in older buildings, in brick buildings. I have one client who actually is put it into a brick building because it was an old warehouse that they're making into different retail areas. And so they've created these little environments for these different businesses that are going in there, and they can't do wall drops because of the brick. So it's a very unique environment solution, but it provides that functionality.
Absolutely. And the other benefit is that it is dual. You can put 2 bases together. So it's dual cell operation. So you can, not only can you expand it to 16 phones with adding a second base, But even if you just need a bigger footprint, you can add another base to increase your range and have full functionality of the system. So that's a huge plus. But we've to add on to Liz's point, we've put this in some veterinarian clinics. We put it in hardware store. You might have mentioned that one, but there's a restaurant, nice, fancy, high-end restaurant we put it into as well. So there's a lot of places that make sense, and I'm sure there's others that we haven't even thought of. So if there's plenty of verticals that can be, it can also be rolled out in a chain fairly easily. The M900 series has been 3CX certified for quite some time. You will see this on the on the list of preferred items. The M400 is the newer one, which is the kind of scaled down single base version of this. The M900 has been out for a couple years now. It was the predecessor was the 700, which again had been out for quite some time. The other thing we came out with was the M900 outdoor multi-cell base station. So you can put this outside in a like a used car lot, or
or even
warehouse.
A campus with an Intel campus or a Nike campus, so that when you're on the phone in one building, you can walk across to the other building and stay on the call and continue your conversation and still be able to get calls in the other second building. So it also does campuses and universities.
Exactly, and the number of units is more than you'll possibly use, but you could put 1,000 bases together to extend the footprint, and the number of handsets would then take you to up to 4,000 handsets at that point. So you have more range than you could possibly need, but it gives you some flexibility. And again, you can use it with just a single base, but the M400 by itself as a single base does allow you to put up to 20 handsets in there. Sorry, I was just looking at the number of handsets says 1 with, but I believe that it's 20 handsets in there. The handsets, we've got kind of a little bit of overlap still. The new models are the M30, the M70, the M80, and then the M90. The M65, the M85 have been out for quite a few years. But there are some that are ruggedized. I won't go into each one individually, but you can kind of see from the list there, the 85 and the 90 and the 80 are IP65, and even the M70 is ruggedized as well. So some of them have Bluetooth. Again, the M30 is the base model; it does not. But the 70, 80, 90 all have Bluetooth. So they're compact, they're stout. So there's a solution for every scenario, depending on if you're going outdoors or you're going to be carrying around a lot. There's some stout handset options for you there. And the last thing is just to touch on a reminder, we do have the C620 conference phones, which are the decked. Well, the whole thing is decked, and then they also have decked microphones as well. You can pull out of the conference phone and put across the table. So not only is the conference phone decked, but the mics can come out as well. There is an expansion speakerphone you can put into there as well, and expand it up to 2 speakerphones with the C52, which we didn't put in the slide here, but there's a way you can expand it beyond that. And again, we have our PA1 Plus, which is kind of our horse that's been out for a long time, and this is the upgraded version of it, which added a 600 ohm output and some other flexibility, upgrading the chipset that's in there. And these 2 items are on the list, but I don't believe they have them listed as certified on 3CX as of today. They are on the list to be done so. So I think I kept it nice and short. I think that's the main summary. Some things to keep in mind, we do have our provisioning server, which is SRAPs. So if you are selling Snom and you want to provision it through SRAPs, there's the link for there. We have a service hub that has a great deal of information, documentation. In fact, actually, Liz, I think a lot of the information you got is probably from the service hub, I'm assuming.
It's almost in your data sheets. There's just about anything you could need, as well as forum information as well.
Exactly. Perfect. And then our website is snomamericas.com, and then we do actually have support USA@snom.com if you have questions or need support for the phones as well. You can contact either of us directly. Again, I'm the distribution channel account manager, and my phone number is there, kkk@snowamericas.com. Liz is our expert sales engineer, and we're both located on the Western time zone, but you can call us anytime you like there. 503-596-1319 for Liz, 503-596-1330 for me. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out after as well. That wraps it up. Liz, did you have anything else you wanted to add as well?
No, I think we covered it pretty well. And if anybody has any questions of any kind or needs support, when you're testing the connectivity to 3CX, if you want to try our phones, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. You guys did a wonderful job, and we always appreciate everyone's time learning a little bit more than you did yesterday. So, yeah, you can reach out, of course, to Elizabeth or to Corey or to VoIP Supply. We're happy to point you in the right direction of whatever you need. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.